Deck the halls with fragments of silicon.
All right, welcome to another episode of Fragments of Silicon. Not sure if I'd call this a extra special holiday themed episode, but it's holiday themed nonetheless, in as much as we do that.
Yeah.
Because at time of broadcast, it is nearly Christmas. So,
It is, in fact, 1 week away from Christmas at time of broadcast.
Indeed. So, getting into the holiday festivities. I'm your host, Adam. Joining me as always, our petty fan in Gallix. Right, let us get to the news, such as it is. Gallix, you start us off, given the setup this week.
Not too much going on here. I got, I think most of my Christmas shopping done, and I'm going to try to get the rest of it done over the next couple of days, because I'm taking them off again. We had our office Christmas party today, which was nice, and I got, from the Yankee Swap, I got a nice blanket. And someone actually got my, the thing I brought, which was a movie trivia card game that seemed to appreciate it, so that's good. Looked through my various year summary things on like Steam and Nintendo and stuff, and my Steam one is horribly polluted by all the games I have to do for review, but my Nintendo one isn't too bad. Mostly because I use that a whole lot more on my own time.
Right.
Right.
I
mean, I posted my Steam stats today, so.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see. I think that might be just about it.
All right. Eddie, you're up.
Oh, let's see. For the most part, this week was quiet until today. Apparently, we had some crazy lady trying to get into our garage. Like, our garage is at least separate.
Why?
I don't know. When I was home and when confronted about it, she started going on and on about how she's a domestic violence survivor. And it's like, that's cool and all. It doesn't give you permission to break into my garage. You know? So I basically kind of just told her, get the fuck off my property. If you have problems, go to the YMCA or Family Guidance Center.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an interesting afternoon. I think I'm
Do you have a shotgun?
I don't know how much I can talk about that on air. Wink, wink.
Interesting. Duly noted.
But yeah, so that was an interesting afternoon. As far as like getting over being sick and stuff, I think I'm mostly over. I still have a bit of a cough, but like even my doctor said I'm gonna still have a cough for a couple weeks, even after COVID. So it's like, at least it's not as bad as it was like what 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Something like that.
I have procured a new charging brick for my charging wall out for my phone because I've been using the one that came with my Galaxy Note 10 that has finally decided to go to the silicon field in the sky, so it has served me well for like 8 years. I kind of wish cell phone companies actually gave you decent quick chargers, but fuck you, Apple. And so I had to just order something off Amazon, and I'm thinking if I have my phone charging, my heater kicks on, and trying to play on my PlayStation blows a breaker. So that's fun. So I have my heater turned down because it's a little warm right now. So that's something that hopefully I can just turn my phone to not use like full quick charging, because there are very few times when I actually need it to go like do its full power draw. So that should be an easy thing. I think it's like in Android settings. I just need to figure out where the hell Samsung put it. As far as gaming is concerned, not really a whole lot. I've been doing some grinding for the Digimon streams. I have Kumamon ready to be unlocked. I literally just need to go talk to the agent. And Vmon and Guilmon are already in my party. So I'm kind of just giving them XP on the way to the Kumamon agent.
Mm.
So it's like 2 birds, 1 stone.
Too bad I bet they come with like grapple for experience and stuff.
They start at level 1. Level 1, no evos.
So yeah.
I do need to find a chance to look at the new Sonic the Sonic Movie Pack DLC for Sonic and Shadow Generations. It's just there's been a lot going on. Like at least, trying to get through grinding and stuff on the game side of things. Also, I had to order a new controller for my phone because the Razer Kishi I've been using for probably like 4 years that I got on clearance, the right stick cracked and nearly cut myself on it. So Best Buy had a sale on the I think it's like the Kishi Ultra or whatever. So that should be here tomorrow. So then I can get back to grinding, because I've been doing the grinding for Digimon on my phone because my phone's powerful enough to run PS1 games. So while I'm just sitting somewhere, I can just do some grinding. It seems this weekend is going to be the last weekend our local coffee shop that we usually frequent on the weekends will be open. So that's kind of unfortunate.
You're having bad luck with local business.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't pick the best place to open. There are like 2 or 3 other coffee shops in walking distance of where she is, and she's also downtown.
I see.
So it's one of those just unfortunate circumstances.
Right.
So that's going to be a bit unfortunate, but life moves on, unfortunately. I did, as far as like card game stuff goes, I was able to go by the card shop I frequent. I don't want to call it local because it's over an hour drive, so and procured a couple of the special limited boxes for Digimon TCG, and I pulled both the chase cards. Shine Greymon Ruin Mode and Death Xmon. So, hooray. So now I have 2 copies of those cards, and I hope I never have to have both of them in my deck at the same time.
Or it might explode.
No, it means we've gone back to the hellscape that is quote-unquote Rookie Rush, or Numemon.
They're very oppressive cards. Death
Yes.
Exmon is an extremely powerful thing that you can literally splash into anything because it's expensive to play but gets a discount for everything your opponent has on the field. So the point is you play it when you're way behind on field presence. And then friggin' Shine Greymon Ruin Mode has a stupid thing where it lays down for the entire turn even if it dies. Anything your opponent plays with less than like 5,000 power or something just instantly is deleted.
Yeah. They're very much field clearing / stall tactic cards.
And I don't like Shine Greymon Ruin Mode being used so much in other things because it's supposed to belong to Shine Greymon. It's literally a mode change.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it either, being a Digimon lore nerd, but at the same time, if life gives you a raging dragon that commits just utter destruction, you use said raging dragon to commit utter destruction.
Anyway.
And yeah, I think that's it from me.
All right. That means it's my turn. Well, not much because, well, I am still sick with the cold, and that's been occupying most of my time. You know, once again, it is just a regular amount of being holiday sick, but it's more the medication that I've been taking that makes me sleepy and makes things blurry. So haven't done much other than just recover from illness. That extends to video gaming. There was a good half week where I didn't even touch Okami.
Getting ready for the sequel, I'm guessing.
No. I was playing Okami when that got announced. That was just a coincidence. But more on that, during the topic.
Indeed.
Because, it reached the point where, ordinarily we'd shift into the interview, but the guest in question could not make things work out today. So we have decided to go and reach back into the past once again. And this time we are returning back to the Computer Chronicles. Given that they have a robust selection of holiday-themed programming.
It's almost like they've gone on for a lot of years.
Right. But we are looking at the 1986 Christmas Buyer's Guide, mainly because much more popular YouTube channels recently did 1985.
We still love you.
Well, this is the one that I was born for. So
yeah,
right.
I don't even know if they did a 92 one.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's see what the cast of the Computer Chronicles was talking during the year of 1986.
My button's not working. I was gonna do a cool, start play.
Good job.
It was gonna be cool, and then my keyboard decided to say, "Nah, bro."
Odds are you won't get to sit on Santa Claus's lap this Christmas season, but I'll bet if you did get to talk to Santa, you probably would ask him for something having to do with your computer.
I mean, kids.
Well, today we've got a great list of gift ideas for the computer user on your
whereas the audience of this is nominally adults.
Of the Computer Chronicles.
Right.
I almost forgot the old intro.
Yeah, this is well into the first intro. God help us when we look at something from the late 90s, because I really hate that intro, because it's the one that integrated the 90s modem noises into the intro.
Leading edge, makers of IBM-compatible computer systems, including
yes,
no-
IBM compatible.
word processing with spelling correction, communication
I have
software,
no
and
knowledge or memory of
AC-compatible
leading
1200
edge
baud modem.
ever a thing.
Leading edge.
I
with over
almost feel
1,000
like
we
you
had
need to go.
we had some of their stuff at some point.
Yeah.
Additional funding is provided by McGraw-Hill, publishers of
Fuck
Byte,
you, McGraw-Hill.
writes detailed technical articles on new hardware, software, and languages
Rotten
cover
hell.
developments in computer technology worldwide.
I shouldn't have to pay $700 for a fucking textbook, McGraw-Hill.
Welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee. Gary Kildall is off Christmas shopping somewhere, I think. And sitting in for Gary this week is George
Edward
Martin.
Murrow.
I want to show you something.
Or sorry,
This is my wallet.
George
I don't have
Murrow.
any money now. These are credit cards, and I want to show you one very special credit card. Look at this baby. Happens to have an alphanumeric keyboard and a 2K memory in here. I have my Christmas shopping list in here. Look at this.
Is it an actual credit card? Or is
No,
it just a
it's,
calculator?
How long did it take you to put all that stuff in?
Or
What's the difference?
computer
A lot of fun
thingy?
doing it, sure.
It's a mini
Computer
computer
Just a
thingy.
little example
It's
of
actually
Yeah.
kind of cool, especially
Yeah,
for the 80s.
the credit card
That's what
size
we're talking about today.
calculators and mini computer things were kind of neat.
Let me
I
ask
mean,
you,
we
sir,
were just on the
Christmas
cusp of the
season
Hue card
in
revolution.
fact, lots of businesses,
Oh, yeah.
department stores and so on. How important is the Christmas season to the computer industry?
Well, this year I think it's going to be a little bit more important than
As important as it is to pretty much every industry.
Literally
All
anything
the tax
retail.
changes are now going to be in place at
Yeah.
the beginning of the year, and people are going to be spending money sometimes on equipment this year that they wouldn't have normally. And the other side, the
Yes,
little
don't forget to
brighter
buy your
side is
computer
that I
hardware as a
think in the
business
computer
expense,
industry
lads.
That hope beats eternal. That each Christmas they will find a product that will find its way into the homes and
The
hearts
home
of
market
women.
really will exist.
Right.
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to be joined soon by Paul Schindler and Wendy Woods, so you can hear directly from the experts about some great
Okay, the
Christmas gift
rest of
ideas
the
that you
regular
can buy in a
cast here.
computer store. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
A family affair. Not sure about that.
Yeah.
With us now in the studio is Paul Schindler, whom everybody knows is our software reviewer and
Hopefully
specialist on
everyone is
Computer
sober
Chronicles.
enough
And next
to
all,
get
Wendy
through
Woods, our
everything.
specialist on just about everything dealing with personal computers. And of course, George Morrow's back here. And we're going to be talking about goodies for Christmas that have to do with computers. And I'm going to take the liberty of starting because I have something sitting up there in the computer. If I can show you this, George, this is neat. This is a program called Business Simulator. It was developed by the people who teach in the MBA program at the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. They took their case studies that they use and they put them all on a disc now. And for
Business
about $99,
Simulator.
I think it is, you can buy these case
I
studies.
mean, that's
They call it
kind of
Business
cool.
Simulator. They say it's like a flight simulator. You can practice flying the plane and crash without killing yourself. You can crash a company without actually going bankrupt. So what you see right here, in this particular...
should have gotten it.
Say it, George. In this particular model, you're running a little computer company. It shows you who your competition is, who the CEOs of the other companies are. We've got various things we can do. I can go in and read the Wall Street Journal, for example.
Okay,
and
is
see
this
what they're
a
saying about
act-
my industry. And there's the, well, it's called the Business
So,
Journal. We know it's
is this a game?
take
Or
a
is
look at the Wall
this
Street Journal. I can
an
go in and
actual
take a look at
piece of
some other things.
software?
I can go
I
in here
think
and
it is
go
similar to a flight simulator, doable as a game, but mostly usable as like a trading software.
Yeah.
Go back. I can also go into the file and read memos that have been written in this company.
Like, you could take out the sub with Camel in Microsoft Flight Simulator and shoot stuff, but that's not like what it's made for.
Right.
Bankruptcy. That sounds a little bit familiar there too.
Yes.
Now
not
once
do
you
that
have
with
all
Flight
this
Simulator.
information,
There were
Couldn't do that in
mods.
go make some decisions about
Combat
business.
Flight
You're going to make
Simulator.
decisions.
Yeah.
That was
You see,
something
go
until the
into a
late
decision menu
90s.
here.
The edition we had it
Decisions
in,
about how much I price my product, for example, how much I
whatever
spend on advertising, what product mix
not
should I
shop class we
have,
had
what
in
spend
middle
my
school.
factory,
We had a
capability,
flight
and so on.
simulator program,
Once you do
and I'm
that,
pretty
then you
sure it
go
was
in
one of the
actually
main
what they
ones.
call process the decision.
And there was an
Right.
option where you could take out a sub with Camel that had a gun.
You then get back in and make your decisions again.
I mean, there was
There
more-
wasn't much of anything to shoot.
You get fed up with the whole mess, George. You hit R and you retire. See, and it's all over. And you don't have to face it.
Just retire with the
this is
R
true
button. I
simulation.
wish a lot of CEOs would do
These are real
that.
case studies, as I said, that are used in training MBA students. And you can now, there's 6 of them. And matter of fact, the company says you can actually get these
God,
custom made now.
training
for your particular
MBAs.
business with the particular competitors, particular product mix, and so on and so forth.
I should get one of those.
It's
Stuart.
kind of neat. Okay, George, I'm going to turn it over to you now. And I'm going to turn the
Well-
keyboard over to Paul to get ready for his demo.
I've got Norton Utilities. This has saved
Fuck
my
An oldie but
Norton.
goodie.
It saved my life twice this year. I had corrupted files, and I don't know what I'd have done. I'd have had to spend a month doing system programming. So it
Okay,
isn't
it's
perfect,
genuinely
but I
weird
have
to
to
see
say
someone
this was really
praising
helpful.
Norton Utilities.
I have a feeling
I'm
this is an
record
ad
collector.
spot.
Yes.
And I have this
Well,
Monster.
I have this monster
obviously, but
database, 12 megabytes, and
also
it was corrupted.
it's not the
And
90s,
I got to go in
Fair.
and fix it
so
with this thing. Otherwise, I would still be at the keyboard trying to program assembly language to go in and get that file. So it really helped.
You know, most of the more relatively normal of us who count on Norton
They're
to get us
relatively
through our daily
normal.
lives use the unerase feature. I just want to mention, some people have heard that there exists a package somewhere that will unerase a file that you've accidentally erased.
Right.
Well, this is it, and I want to be sure to mention that.
Yes, that's true, but there are 2 or 3 utilities you can get that'll unerase. Whether it does it as good as the Norton, I don't know. But as
Okay.
far as I know, Norton's the only one that'll let you actually go in and fiddle with a file if you need to.
Did not know that.
So your recommendation is Norton Utilities. Anybody doesn't have it, that'd make a great Christmas present.
If you've got critical data
Yeah.
that there's a chance you'll corrupt, it's good to have on your shelf.
I want to go
Things
to
of a
Wendy
different
now for a
age.
minute while Paul
Yeah.
continues to put his program together there. You have a mysterious white box in
Yes,
front
this
of you.
is a mysterious white box. Well,
Oh,
anybody
no.
who's been using spelling checkers knows how much memory a spelling checker can take up if you have it in RAM.
Oh, Lord.
And by the time you get to write your document, there's very little RAM left, unless you have a very powerful computer. Well,
There's a
this
sign of
is
the
first
times.
time that a spelling checker has been put in a box that's
Having
separate
to
from
worry
your
about your
computer. What do you
spell
do?
checker
This is from
taking up
Xerox.
too much
Hardware.
It's a
memory.
hardware spelling
Uh-huh.
checker. And it's from Xerox.
Jesus
It's called
Christo.
PC Typewrite. And what you do is you plug this into the keyboard port in back of your computer, and then you plug your detachable keyboard into the box. And then what'll happen is, as you're typing, if it sees you type a misspelling, it'll beep so that you can stop at that word and make a correction.
Oh,
It's
wow.
certainly the first one of this kind that I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm
It's
like,
got a 100,000
I don't know what to
word
make of this.
vocabulary.
Did you
I
misspell
mean-
something?
Because
I think so. And it's
For
also, you
for
can
the,
customize
for
it
the
to add about
80s, that's
100
amazing.
words.
For now, that's hilariously
Right now it's
quaint.
$199.95.
Even
This
in
just
like
came
the
out in,
90s,
November
this was not
of
a thing you
so it's
ever
probably
needed.
reaching the stores very slowly
Mhm.
at this
Like
point,
you,
but
you never
it's
needed to worry
$200
about this, even like in the
approximately,
era
which
of
is about what you
Windows
pay for a good
95.
spelling checker anyway.
Especially for
Well, it sounds like you're older than me. She's
$200
got a
in the
new one.
80s. Oh,
It's a
yikes.
fantastic idea, by the way, as a regular habitual
Yeah.
way of spelling checkers. Of course, in my case, they're only catching typographical errors because I am a perfect speller. But and I thought I'd
don't
jump in and
believe
mention
you.
that before
Yeah.
your usual caveat against spelling checkers. I know you don't care much for them.
What everyone says.
I didn't.
I know
not
I'm
think,
not.
that I'd ever be able to say anything.
But
good
I
about a
doubly
spelling
do
checker,
not
but
believe
I'm
Paul
using a spelling
Schaefer,
checker, not an online
perfect
one.
speller.
I use one that I check as I go along when I
A
want to.
dictionary.
Always give me a
It's
bit of a
online
used
spelling
car
checker.
salesman
Right.
vibe here,
And
honestly.
I went
Yeah.
from being able to spell about 60% of the words right to being able to spell over 95% right. You're looking at someone who never passed a high school English course.
Well, you know, if you spell 90% of them, maybe that's the
98.
difference.
I
Maybe
get
that's
the feeling
difference
he's
between success
absurdly
and failure
proud of
in the
that
computer
fact.
business, George.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Paul, what toys do you have for us?
Well, I have, first of all, I'm a great believer in books at Christmas. I'm an owner. I have hundreds of books. Most of them I've already colored in. No, seriously, I have a large library at home,
Jesus.
and I'm a lover of books. And I
Self-deprecating
always like to recommend
humor.
books for
Yeah,
all
that's a
holidays,
mood.
birthdays and Christmas. And in conjunction with my colleague Richard Dalton of Keep Track Corporation in San Francisco, I have come up with several suggestions. First of all, the IBM XT Clone Buyer's Guide, which is an excellent $10
That's a
resource,
very specific
for,
book.
people who haven't bought
Like,
their
I
XT clone
get
Yeah,
it.
with
but
with a
don't
pretty
have
short
hard drives
lifespan
around
of
this
being
world who
useful, I
haven't bought them
imagine.
yet.
This is probably the only book
Yeah,
that
exactly
No,
like that year.
out of date.
Yeah,
10 minutes
not
after
just
the first
IBM
one.
Well, there is a
compatibles or
problem with
anything.
that, but
IBM
what it does is
XTs.
Certainly, it's
in
a
addition,
Mhm.
in addition to offering you specific advice, it tells you
Yeah,
in
I have
general
a few.
how to look for
Yeah,
what
this
for
was one of the
modular
IBM
information systems in
bankrolled.
San Francisco. And then here is a book with a spectacularly uninspiring cover, but the
And
point
they were
is the
still
information, not
very
the,
big blue
not
in
the package.
1986.
It's $25, and it's called,
Judging by the
cleverly enough,
suits.
More Than You Ever Wanted to Know About Hard Disks for the IBM PC. All hard disks, it's $25. It's from Landmark Software in Sunnyvale, California. All, as you well know, George, in the disk controller business,
yes, yes.
not all hard disks are created the same.
That's right.
And they have different access times, different prices. It's more, and of course, different capacities.
And different kinds of things can go wrong with
And
them.
different kinds of things can go wrong with them. This is a really thorough examination of just about all the hard disks there are.
Probably every user group should have 1 or 2 copies of that.
Absolutely, it's an excellent. It should be in every user group library.
It's
and in a lot of
hilarious. Stuff
personal
like this
libraries.
is now
Paul, I'm
just
gonna ask you-
All right,
free
yes. Okay,
on
this is-
various
This
websites.
is Looking Your Best from
I'm aware.
One Step Software in Charlotte, North Carolina. $35.
Might be
Now,
on
I was
archive.org,
rapidly
it might
entering,
not.
some
Well,
not
just
very
like the
accurate
buyer's
information about
guide
myself.
type
The idea of this program is it's a
thing,
clothing
not just like
platform.
these
It doesn't do your
specific
colors,
ones.
you
Just
know,
like
the hot yuppie trend of
you can
1986.
jump
It
on like
doesn't do your colors.
various PC
But it'll do
websites
your,
and they'll
but
give
it'll
you
do
like
your,
a various
necklines.
buyer's guide.
Now, unfortunately,
Or on
Yeah,
YouTube.
I've got to say one negative thing about it. It doesn't distinguish between men and women. So when it shows me the neckline choices, as we noted when we were trying it out just before the show, it does
Yeah, you wouldn't
offer
look so
you
good
Bad
in that
guy?
in the high cowl. I think it would
Yes,
be a little bizarre, but you know,
Can I be swinging a
and then
sword
it offers
against
you
those
choices of
things?
jackets. It
And,
goes
you know,
through a
collecting
very
gold?
detailed
Maybe.
description of yourself, your hip size, whether your shoulders are wider than your waist, which mine are at least for the next couple of years, and it's just chock full of advice based on things like the shape of your face and the size of your hips and all kinds of information that actually I had to think about
Dress for
before entering.
success on a disc. Huh?
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to move along now. We'll be back in just a minute. Take a look at some
Even
presents for
Stuart's
people
like,
who have
all
Apple
right.
computers. First of all, let's go out and see what
Yeah.
effect this Christmas season is
Let's
having on the sale of hardware
skip
and
over the pseudoscience.
December is here, and once again, computer owners are faced with a surging need to buy, much to the pleasure of
Ah,
computer
yes,
retailers.
capitalism.
Some owners are ready to upgrade their systems, while others simply want accessories or gifts for their computer-savvy friends. Whatever the motivation, sales are climbing, and retailers are optimistic.
This is an oddly sexually charged report.
And sales going into Christmas last year, I think, were very, very high. Our
Maybe
current sales
I'm
are
not
running
sure
maybe
on
4
that.
times what they were last year.
I am.
Many shops prepare for Christmas by increasing their stock of high-priced luxury goods. But computer vendors are in the awkward position of balancing sales between corporate buyers and the growing consumer market, which is also becoming more sophisticated.
In the past, people were looking
Are they
for
really,
systems
though?
sometimes
This is
under
kind of the start of the
$500.
quote-unquote
I think the average consumer
prosumer
is now budgeted
area.
from $1,500 to $2,000 for a computer system, and for our store, most of the consumer lines can be purchased for that.
It's
This
more
year's
like
flashy newcomers, like the
a sale
Amiga
is a
and
sale is a
Atari
sale.
ST, and the hard-to-get Apple
To a certain
IIgs
extent.
provide attractive floor
I
demonstrations.
guess.
But they may not have the lasting impact of lower prices
Yeah, the
and more
Amiga.
powerful machines.
Oh,
In
the Amiga.
1979, we didn't have the variety
This is
of
not a
computers that are
European
currently available for
broadcast.
consumer
We
use.
will
The,
not spend too much
Apple
time
II
on the.
computer was selling for $3,500
Yeah.
for a 16K machine. Those are all under $1,000 now for 128K machines.
They're talking about K. That's hilarious. Looking at the 64 gigabytes in my machine right now.
Yeah, your numbers are going to go up.
I'm pretty sure if I dropped my PC in front of
Boys and
somebody
girls, we're
like
back
in
on the
this
show here now.
time,
Just
they
in case
would have
anybody
freaked
thinks
the
that Paul
fuck
changed
out.
his clothes having watched that program. This is now Wendy, and this is now Paul. And George, I have something I didn't get to show you in the last segment. I want to show you right now because it really relates to the business user, kinds of things we were talking about before. This is called the Business Consultant. They don't call it a calculator or a computer because I'm not sure Hewlett-Packard knows which it is, but it's a very impressive either little toy or terrific business tool. I'm not sure which.
Probably a little of both.
The nice thing I like about this, it
Okay,
has soft
so
function
some
keyboard
sort
inputs,
of
and you can
calculator
define it any way you
novelty
want with this
item.
alpha keyboard.
Quick,
Create
let's
any
go find
formulas you
Clint.
want,
He can help
and
us
then you
with
can
this
solve them
one.
very simply. For instance, I created a formula here for figuring out the cost of my car rentals. So I have variables in here like the daily rate, the number of days, the mileage rate, number of miles, the insurance cost, and I can now figure out the cost. I've already entered in the variable.
Looks like
and I say, okay, what
the
did that car cost me? Calculates, boom,
Cro-Magnon equivalent
$226.25.
to the
You can go backwards,
PPA.
of course, also. So
Probably.
my budget only allows for $200.
Maybe
I want to define costs as being no greater
Australopithecus.
than $200. I hit that function key. I
That
say,
far
now, what's the
back
highest
on
daily
the
rate I can afford to pay?
evolutionary scale
It
here.
tells me that rate is only $25.44.
great.
However, the pièce de résistance, that little printer over there,
Yep.
no wires, no cables, no cords.
Right.
Watch this trick.
Infrared.
Driving that printer through an infrared
Wow.
beam, and it can work up to about 18 inches, 60 degrees. A great little business tool to carry around with you.
This you leave on the desk. This you carry with you.
Yeah, exactly. Infrared printer, amazing. One other kind of device I want to show you, which has nothing to do with business. This has to do with kids. And that's what Christmas is about, I
Oh,
guess.
no.
This is a
Not
delightful
children.
little thing. You can only buy this through mail order. It's
I
from a
would
company
say,
called
okay,
Sunburst.
that's
They have an
something
800
for
phone number
children.
called the
Look
Muppet
how
Keyboard. It's
colorful
a
it
great way for little
is.
kids to get comfortable
You know,
with a computer. They don't have to learn about the complicated keys
seriously,
and
that is
keyboarding.
a
You
bright
have little
shade of
letters here. I've
blue.
got something up now
Yeah.
to
Yep.
teach kids about the
With
alphabet.
a
It's like
handle, it
H,
looks like
for
it could be
example.
used to end a
Hey.
man.
See, a hamburger, right? The kid identifies.
Okay.
I can learn about
Wait a
numbers by saying,
minute.
well, what does 3
I
hamburgers look
know
like?
that
What do
fucking
6
controller.
hamburgers look like?
Oh,
For
no.
example.
My
And
elementary
they do little
school
tricks.
had
Back and say,
that.
okay, what is G? Okay, what is ghosts? Okay, and then do
Well,
little
we've
dances.
triggered a
And
core
what
memory.
is L? Okay,
I'm not
L is
sure.
lobsters.
No, it's
And
definitely
what
a
does
very
S do for
peripheral
me?
memory.
Singing socks
Fair
and so
enough.
Now,
on.
where does this? How does this plug into
Plugs
the
into
computer?
the
But yeah,
joystick port.
no, I
on the
remember
Apple.
that thing
And
now.
number input, colors, letters. The thing I like, it's simple for a kid. There's no enter key, it says go.
Right.
There's no escape
Yep.
key, it says zap. There's no delete key, it says
The
erase.
eraser.
It's just a terrific little kind of user-friendly for kids.
Somebody's
way to
gonna
interface with an
use
Apple
that to
computer. What do
play
you have for kids?
Dark
Well,
Souls at some
this
point.
is for kids that are a little older. This is something that an aunt or an uncle is going to buy for somebody.
probably
I wonder what
less
kind of
challenging
connector it
than-
uses.
Joystick.
Software that
So
prepares you
basically
for
the
SAT
N6
exams.
or the
There's about 6
Genesis
or 8
joystick
discs here.
port, probably.
It will tell you how much time to spend on questions.
George, I'm going to stop you saying, could you recycle that? Oh, she got it? Okay. Wendy's getting her program ready. Go ahead.
This will give you information on how to study for the tests, how much time to spend on questions. The SAT exams, of course, are getting like these entrance exams in Japan.
Yeah.
So the pressure to pass them is more intensive, and something like
Oh,
this
God.
is certainly probably a much better preparation.
Oh,
maybe
my
to
sweet
boost.
summer
Certainly
child.
great for the high school level.
Well, I
Student
took
for a Christmas
I took
present.
2 of them, and I wished I'd have had something like this.
Well, I've played with this myself too. It's very impressive, and it has a timer built into it. It has advice. It has different rates at which you can learn the stuff. It is very impressive.
So it's a perfect gift from an aunt
It
or
might
an
be a
uncle.
good idea to zoom in on the actual product at some point here.
Yeah.
Cram mode and a long-term learning mode, and I think
Right.
that's absolutely excellent. So it's a little too late to buy it for this year, but for next year's students, there's plenty of time to teach them about that.
You have some neat-looking toys there, Paul.
If Christmas is for kids, then I guess this. Wow, gosh, I missed. Well, I'll keep trying. This is
Here's
the
Bulge.
absolutely hot toy. This is the
Playing with
product
an
of the
erector
hot
set?
computer toy for this
Probably.
Christmas season. It's called Toy Shop. It's from Broderbund. It's $65. It's absolutely brilliant.
Those toys are all
These
made.
toys were all made from paper plans that come from the computer. Now you say to yourself, well, you could buy a kit of paper plans, you know. And all right, so this catapult works. I've demonstrated that by shooting a couple of spit wads at you.
Okay,
in a
why
store.
would I want to
This
play with this when I
carousel
could
actually
just get a
turns,
whole bunch
and
of
this car
connects?
actually rolls.
Yeah.
Now I'm a 10-fingered klutz, and the Broderbund did these for us. I'm not sure I could do toys of this level of complexity, but.
On the other hand, I would not
I have done a
have
couple
guessed
toys
Paul
out
to
of it.
be
I'm
this
gonna do
into
several more for
origami.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Two great things about it, really. It's a good project to do with your kids, and you can personalize these, put their name in, change the patterns.
Well, Paul, one of the real appealing things here is something that you can make a computer do something and actually put something together after you've had the computer do it.
Exactly.
And to make it clear, Paul, it really happens in the program. It's kind of a little mini CAD CAM program, right?
Exactly.
It
Stuart.
actually you design
Meanwhile,
it, and
the
it prints
hilarity
out
of
on your
3D
printer
printers
these parts,
now.
which you then use
You
to
then glue together and add wood, and
Yeah.
it's so simple, even I can use it. And we're talking simple. Now, speaking of simple,
What
one
else
other
do you have?
quick
On the
thing
other
I wanna
hand, he
mention,
was certainly
the
keeping the
Pen Mouse Plus
local
from
Radio
Curta
Shack in
in
business.
Phoenix, Arizona, brand new, just out at Comdex, $300 for people who don't like mice. This is a little electronic pen.
Hello,
and,
Primordial
if
Wacom
you
tablet.
move it around on the surface of this,
Oh,
it moves
God.
the cursor around on the screen. Now, we
Am
didn't
I
demonstrate
wrong?
that because it took too much time to set up.
I mean,
But,
that's a light
allow
pen.
yourself an hour or two to
Yep.
set this up, and if you hate mice, this is
Is
an
it kind of like a
alternative.
koala pad? Is that the
Yes,
idea?
it's like a koala
I
pad.
have to tell, we should warn our
Walla
viewers.
pad.
Oh,
These
God,
are-
that's
this is
a-
a little transmitter there.
Ooh.
Radio transmitter.
And if you get close to another RF source, a radio
Like a
A lot
television
of
set
memories
or,
being
you can get
uncovered
some- you
today.
can get some interference.
Right, so don't work it near a TV.
Wendy, what do you have?
Oh, this is a great game from Electronic Arts called Thomas
Nothing.
Dishes
It was
and
great
Misha.
from Electronic
And what
Arts.
this is
Oh, wait, no, this
it
was back
leaves
when
you
Electronic
in the beginning
Arts was
without
run by
any clothes
decent
on, in
humans.
a hotel room. You don't know how you got there.
Wow.
This is a
and
family show, Wendy.
That being
you have to
said,
get clothes, you have to figure out
Amnesia
why you're
is
there, you have to
not
figure out what your name
one of the
is.
great
And,
Electronic
it's the
Arts
most
games.
ambitious text adventure that
I
It's
just
not
realized
anything
those
to
were on the large floppies. I thought, is that on Laserdisc? No, that's
No.
That's right.
no, that's the packaging they used at that time. It was
Yeah.
mirroring
Blanket
records.
endorsement, but
Right.
I've never played a bummer from these guys.
Well, this has been fascinating. Everybody who's been over at my house playing this has enjoyed it. Comes with a map of the Manhattan subway system, which is programmed into the
Remember
discs.
when the games came
One
with
way to learn how to use the
feelies?
subways.
Cross street indicator.
Wow.
I do
It
actually.
comes with a
It
Oh,
came
God.
with feelies that were then used as copy protection.
clues.
Yep.
Yeah, I think she
Guide to New York
just
City, right?
held up the movie.
Anyway,
Yep.
And it's a text adventure game.
it's a text adventure game, and you go through this, and here, for instance, it's just presented you in the room. You don't know what's going on. First
Wendy,
command
does it
is
always
get up.
have the same outcome? Do you always?
No.
Oh.
I have, so far I've been playing this maybe 5 or 6 times. First of all, I've ended up being convicted of murder, being tried and executed.
Get up a guest on the Computer Chronicles Christmas show.
That's some out of context
I've
quoting
gone
right
to,
there.
Yeah.
I've ended up on the streets of New
Wendy, you
York.
have one more toy there. We have a little bit of time. Show me what your other toy is.
Okay, this is a real cheapie. $10, great.
Stocking stuffer.
It's called the Chocolate Bite. It's created by the Chocolate Software Company. Only 3 months right around the Christmas season can you find this in retail stores.
It's extra.
It's pure
It's the
chocolate.
extra
It's
delicious
very
computer
good.
chip.
In the
Floppy
shape
disk.
of a 5 1/4-inch floppy
Can you
disk.
open it
Did
up?
they print a save icon out of chocolate?
left it up.
Get shot immediately.
Okay, like
Anyway.
most floppy
Yes.
Yes, that's right. It's easy
Anyway.
to,
If we were in the
very
same
good.
room, y'all would be
It is
taking
good.
turns
I've
beating the
had
fuck
good
out of me,
job.
wouldn't you?
Floppy disk.
It is very
No,
good.
no, that is a diskette.
Well, I think
That
that's
is an
about all
actual
the time we have.
chocolate
We've seen
floppy.
lots of
Yeah.
great toys here for kids, for
But I made the
grown-ups.
joke
If you
about
have a
they
computer,
put
give us
3D
a-
I know.
printed save icon.
Thanks for being with us. We'll be back in just a minute with this week's computer news.
Honestly, most save icons are the newer version of the thing, so.
Yeah.
Oh, we've hit the random access, so we're nearing the end.
In the random access file this week, as we get closer to the new year, rumors keep building about IBM's plans for new computers in 1987. Leading the speculation is the expected
I mean, that's
unveiling of
logical.
the PC2, a $1,000 PC.
The PC2.
3.5-inch drives, expanded memory, and enhanced graphics. The PC2 reportedly
Oh,
uses a
that's
modified
funny.
8086 chip that will enable it to outperform existing PC clones.
Yeah,
Apple has said next
that's
it will
not a name that
develop
ever
software
stuck.
to take advantage
Yeah,
of the new
that'll
PC2
be
design, software that
that'll
will
be a
not
fun
run on
episode
the
to go
clones.
over.
The rumor mill has it that IBM will unveil the PC2 in a Super Bowl commercial, and of course there are the usual rumors that Apple will unveil a new computer in the Super Bowl, possibly
Did that
an MS-DOS
actually
Macintosh.
happen?
Other predictions for 1987 include the IBM version of the 386 machine. Again,
Oh,
a specially
friend.
modified version of the Intel
What year was the
8086.
Macintosh reveal?
And finally, IBM will supposedly
84.
introduce an upgraded version of the PC
Okay.
convertible, featuring a better screen, built-in modem, 640K, and an optional hard drive. Ashton Tate says it will be coming out with subsets of its DBase 3 program for 386 computers. The company says it will unbundle DBase 3
I
so
have
that the program
nothing really to say about DBase 3.
of the new 386 chip. Commodore says its QuantumLink online service has now become the
Hi,
second biggest online
Commodore.
service for computer users, trailing
Ooh.
only CompuServe. QuantumLink
Actually,
currently is for Commodore users, but
there's an
Ashton says
understated
plans to open up the online
debut
service
here
for
because
IBM and
Quantum
Apple
Link.
users sometime in
Try
1987.
to guess who they
For
became.
years now, people have been
Does it
worrying about the
involve a
possible health effects of
certain
sitting in front of
You
a
Got
video
Mail?
display terminal for hours on end.
Yes.
Now, 2 doctors in Pennsylvania
The
say
forerunner
the problem is
to
not the vision on the
AOL.
screen,
So
it's
so
lack
the
of
last time they're
circulation in the
basically allowed to talk
fanny.
about AOL
Doctors
before
say they found
the
evidence of blood clots in the thighs of computer users simply from sitting in one
like, was it
position in front
Telnet?
of a computer for an extended period of time.
Who's
Possibly.
a big sponsor of the show, who probably would have said to Hit Squad if you mentioned the word AOL.
Time for a look at software, and here's
Oh
our
no,
reviewer,
you're thinking of
Paul Schindler.
CompuServe.
Much as I'd
CompuServe,
like to
yes.
spend some time looking you in the eye today, this package is so spectacular that, well, let's go to the screen. You're looking at Perspective, the best graphics package produced so far. The data for all these graphics
I mean, that
comes from
is
simple
cool for the
spreadsheets.
era,
They're controlled by
but
5
hilarious
function keys,
now.
clearly indicated by a large menu. Get a load of
It's
this
also,
selections that allow you to decide what kind of 3D
even
graphics you want
here,
to draw. There are
this is
32
clearly a
choices here.
novelty
You just pick
Oh,
because
yeah.
one you want.
none of this ever
Then from
took.
another menu, you select
Like,
the view
ooh,
you're on
you've
for a
got
menu
your
of
graphs
16
in
angles.
3D and
By
your
clicking the 16 views that
menus
display
are
your menu,
unreadable.
there's a rotation
Yeah,
section
in
which lets you look at
literally
graphs
like
any way you
5
want.
shades of
Even if
gray.
you don't want to change perspectives on a graph,
Well, it's
this
more
section program
like
is fun to
the
play with
symbol
as a
thing.
toy.
Like, I
Finally,
can
the
see why
size
this
and
never
location
took
of the
off.
labels can
Right.
be adjusted
Like,
easily.
your
And
bar
this
graphs
program
don't
will
need
soon
to
be
be
available
don't
in
need a
color.
third dimension
Perspective is $300
unless you're doing.
graphics.
Sometimes it can be useful if you're graphing multiple variables.
Yeah.
I was about to say,
Magazine says
unless
this
you're
should be a
doing
good Christmas
specific
season for
stuff.
software sales. Best sellers are expected to be
Hi,
Ooh.
print
programs
shop.
like Broderbund's
I
Print
was
Shop,
about to say,
which
ooh, there's a
contains
childhood
especially
favorite, Print
Infotime's
Shop.
new
Mhm.
leather goddesses of Phobos. If you're still looking for Christmas gift ideas, we have yet a few more tips for you from other sources. Syndicated computer columnist John Dvorak likes a new game for the Macintosh called Smash Hit Racquetball. And for the PC crowd, he picks Traveling Sidekick as a great gift item. On the hardware side, Dvorak suggests the Bectec Fanny Mac, a cooling fan for the Macintosh, or the Curtis
No.
Computer Toolkit, including pin straighteners, chip pullers, and other goodies. And Family Computing Magazine has come up with its picks for the best computer gifts of the season. In hardware, the magazine picks the Atari 1040 ST as the best deal in a computer.
Holy
the
God.
Model 102 is the best portable. The Toshiba
Mention of an Atari.
1521 is the best printer. The NEC Multisync is the best monitor. And the leading edge Model L as the best deal in a modem. Finally, public television station WGBH in Boston has come up with an innovative way to raise money and take advantage of the high number of computer users in the Boston area. In February, WGBH will be conducting the world's first online
WGBH.
auction as a fundraiser.
They were a
Over 400
pretty major
computers laying
content
ugly
producer
will
for
be upgraded,
PBS.
and all the
Yep.
action will take place online.
I grew up
Now,
in their
if you wanna
service area,
support,
so
you can participate in the auction
until fourth
and watch
grade, so.
Masterpiece Theater at the same time. That's it for this week's Chronicles. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. Don't think they had anything to do with it.
The Computer
With the
Chronicles
Computer
is made
Chronicles.
possible by Leading
Right.
Edge, makers of IBM
At least
compatible
not until
computer systems,
maybe like the
including
late
Lotus lookalike
90s.
spreadsheet, word processing with spelling correction, communication software, and Hayes compatible
Alrighty, so it
1200
looks
baud
like that
modem.
was
Leading
it.
Edge with over 1,000.
Yep. So, yeah, nothing particularly interesting was going on in the Christmas season of 1986. Like,
Mhm.
you know, and I mean that. Like, okay, that was pretty.
I mean, it was
You know,
interesting. Like, we had a primordial Wacom tablet. The
right.
paper thing
I
was
mean, from that
cool
perspective,
and quaint for the time.
I'm talking more about the PC landscape. Like,
Right.
they're like, they're not really talking up, say, the 16-bit computers,
Yeah.
or we don't even have hype for the OS2.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
OS2, the
we've got
PS2 was mentioned in passing.
no, the PC2.
PC2, yes.
That that is that is a thing that really never became because it was the 386 machine.
Right.
But it's like it's just very much kind of a quiet time, at least in the American market.
Right.
Things were much more dynamic in the European because this is about the time when the Amiga and the Atari ST are really taking off over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, so with that in mind, let us move to the topic of discussion.
Wrong button. That was the wrong button. I forgot to switch audio. Ow.
Don't hurt yourself. All right, so welcome to the topic of discussion. So this week is the now pretty much traditional recap of the Game Awards, which just capped off 10 years of existence. Probably much to everybody's surprise, going back 10 years.
Yeah.
Not so much that it not only is it still around, it's
Well, the fact that E3 stopped being a thing pretty much left a huge market hole for large events to announce shit at.
right, but that's the hype side of the awards. It's also, distressingly enough, become the Oscars of video gaming. Yes, that did hurt to say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the only award show that happens. I mean, we still got, the Golden Joysticks, the BAFTA Awards, the several outlets and critics awards that happen every year. But much more than the Spike Awards were seen as the Video Game Awards, or whatever G4 put out was the Video Game Awards. The Game Awards are the Video Game Award.
Right.
No. So, like I said, I'm not particularly pleased about that. I'm like, because that means people are taking these awards much more seriously. As we're getting award drama.
Indeed.
That is about the last thing I wanted out of the game award. People taking the Keeleys seriously enough to, bitch, moan, and complain about not winning one. Because that did indeed happen.
Oh yeah, the amount of anger between FF7 and Metaphor not winning Game of the Year is hilarious.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Black Myth Wukong.
Oh yeah, where apparently the
apparently the devs wrote their best Game of the Year acceptance speech 2 years ago or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Which, getting a bit ahead of yourself, it's not like the game didn't win any awards.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, it's like, sorry you didn't win? Black Myth Wukong rightly got denied.
Mm-hmm. Like, I've not played it, but from what I've heard, it's an above average game, but not the best game.
Yeah, it's not the breath of fresh air that is Astrobot.
Yes, we need more.
That's
Astrobot.
the main thing. The entire genre it's in is a 3D realistic exploratory action game.
There were 3 or 4 games on the ballot that was just that.
Yeah.
It might even be one of the better ones, but people have gotten sick of those over the last few years.
Yes.
And Astrobot is something that nobody besides Nintendo has, with a big name, has bothered to make anything like for a while.
Right. That's more the perception, though. Like, in terms of actual sales, that is not the reality. Because, as was pointed out recently, Astrobot is actually the lowest selling Game of the Year recipient ever.
Yeah.
Well, best doesn't mean best selling.
No, I'm just saying, though, the idea that people have gotten tired of the Black Myth Wukongs of the world doesn't really bore fruit in terms of the actual people buying actual things.
Mm-hmm.
It's more the opinion maker saying these things. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that is another thing to keep in mind. When it comes to award shows, unless you're making a direct beeline to the mainstream, i.e., like the MTV Movie Award, great example there. Like, the amount of ticket sales or whatever has no bearing on, the quality. Because, like, how many Oscar award winners do you usually see? Maybe, like, if it's, say, something really popular, like when, say, Lord of the Rings or Gladiator, something like that gets nominated, which has happened.
Mm-hmm.
But like, do you go out of your way to see, say, La La Land, or what have you? Films that we generally consider to be Oscar film. It all depends, but
And there are certain
like,
genres that are definitely more award bait than like
yeah,
publicly popular.
Right.
Still a little bit disappointed that one of 4 entirely interchangeable bland guys won best content creator or whatever, but also that's the genre of these. That's the award I probably care least of.
right. I'm like, look, if I even recognize these people, I'm like hitting under par here.
Right.
Mainly because I am not XT years younger than I was. So, which is usually where that award is hitting. Like, that being said, the Game Awards are the Game Awards, I think, at this stage. That being said, they have rectified some problems in the past, including last year's, frankly, embarrassing wrap it up attempts.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, they did better about that, and they had Statler and Waldorf mock it. So,
right. And how do I put this? And right. And as opposed to last year, Jeff Keighley did finally address the layoffs that have been affecting the video game industry. And he highlighted somebody who's actually doing something about it. I'll be honest, I'm not exactly sure what people are wanting out of Jeff Keighley. Like, I get it was one thing to not acknowledge the great layoff wave thing. Doesn't really have a name, does it? But one of the greatest events that is affecting the video game industry.
clearly, the next step is it's not a complete award ceremony unless all global unfortunate circumstances and stuff are acknowledged and apologized for, regardless of how relevant they are.
I mean, in fairness, this is the kind of thing the Oscars sort of dabble in.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, what is Jeff Keighley going to do about it? I mean, especially since I don't know if you've noticed, but this is an independently produced award show.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of like, more than, say, if this were an arm of Future Publishing.
Yeah. The difference between this and E3 is E3 actually has some tendrils in the industry. This is just totally independent.
Yeah. Well, E3 was funded by the industry, the industry's lobby group, the ESA.
Right.
Until they had that massive data breach and everyone fucking quit them.
Yep.
That's what really killed E3.
Yeah, because like a lot of advertisers pulled out. Just
no, it wasn't advertisers. in regards to the death of the E3, it was the like actual publisher pulling out, but we're not talking about E3.
Yeah, we've already
The point
discussed the
is,
death of E3.
yeah, the point is, Keighley is, he's monetarily bound to the video game industry. More so than like the Oscars, because like the Oscars is handled by an actual body that takes care of this. The Academy of Arts and Sciences. There's no Academy for the Arts and Sciences of Video Game.
Right.
Which is why the Game Awards is this bizarre mishmash of the Oscars and E3.
It doesn't have much in the way of an industry group, and also, while yes, this is the 10th year, that's still not a huge amount of inertia in terms of people getting super invested in it. Although it's getting there.
Well, in terms of the ratings, there might be a disagreement depending on how these things are read, because how do I put this? The Game Awards uses that streaming black box fuzzy math to chart their ratings. Apparently it was like 104 million unique visitors watched the Game Awards, with peaking out at 4 million concurrent viewers, kind of deal. Like I said, make of that what you will. Though apparently a lot of that has to do with the fact that the Game Awards was much more available in China. No idea if they were turning in specifically to watch Black Myth Wukong win awards, but I guess we'll see what happens next year.
Yep. The Game Awards, now presented by Tencent. Oh no, we are in the darkest timeline.
Anyway, that being said, certain structural problems do still exist with the game. That is to say, we still have a lot of awards that are being blown through the Game Awards themselves. At the actual Game Awards are still treated as the afterthought. People are still not really tuning in for the Games Awards themselves.
The awards feel very disposable. I've been over this every year.
Yeah, it's the same.
There are at least 2 or 3 categories that people don't even actually know what they mean.
It's all the same shit we've been saying for probably a decade now. So I don't think those problems resolve themselves anytime soon. Or at least anytime, as long as this is still the Keighley show. And, where people are still tuning in for the world premiere. And I guess we should talk a bit about those, because...
Yep. I'll scroll back up. I was just kind of glancing through, making sure everything is on the GameSpot article.
Right. And in those terms...
It's hard to say. Stream this to you guys, so that way you guys can kind of see... Like what...
No. No, that's not what I'm trying to gauge the greatness of the world premieres here. because
we've had some cool ones, but nothing that's like, oh my god, I need this now.
that. No, I'm gonna say no. You're wrong there. You're very wrong.
My
On
personal
a
opinion on this.
well, once again, that's your personal opinion.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the world writ large.
Fair.
That is very, no, this is like one of the best showings out of a, not just like the Game Awards, but one of these hype shows in a good long while. Like, because we had, and it's not just the show, just like one unlikely revival. It's not just, here's Okami 2 or Okami 3, however they're going to define it.
Right now, they're just calling it
no.
Okami sequel.
Right. That's not the point. But it's like, it wasn't just that. We had a whole bunch of those.
Yeah.
And
Naughty Dog has been let out of the Last of Us minds.
Yeah. And yeah, it's not just old franchises coming back.
Though
Although there are a couple of notable ones of those.
Yeah. Onimusha
Right.
notably have not had a game in over 18 years, is coming back from hell.
Once again, not the only one. It's a whole rush of those.
Yeah.
It's a new Virtua Fighter getting announced. Alongside what was it, Project Columbia?
Century, I think.
The Japanese like World War I? Or are you talking about something else? That one's Project Century.
Project Century, that's the one. And it's not just old stuff either, because you mentioned Intergalactic, which is Naughty Dog's new IP, which is going to be a spacefaring action adventure that's taking inspiration from Cowboy Bebop. Might
be cool if they can pull it off. We'll see. It seems to be going heavy on product placement, which is something that definitely has a potential to break immersion in some people.
Yeah, people were not happy about all the Monster Energy drinks in Death Stranding.
Well, people are unhappy for a lot of reasons.
Right.
Over Intergalactic. Let's see. The right-wing chuds are pissed off because we got a girl with a bald-shaved head here.
Oh no, we're woke.
In a Star Porsche.
Yeah.
The left is pissed off because Neil Druckmann is co-writing this. That's an Israel-Palestine thing. Kind of beyond the scope of what we're talking about here, but it goes back to the inspirations to The Last of Us 2. And speaking of such things, we got The Witcher 4, which is once again pissing off the right-wing chuds because they know nothing about the Witcher lore. Ciri being the Witcher.
Yeah, they saw the Witcher at Amazon series.
No, it'd be the Netflix series, but
Netflix,
here's the thing: the Netflix series isn't that far along in the books,
right?
Whereas the Witcher 3, that was taking place at the canonical end of the books, and even kind of further along.
Right.
To not go too deeply into the Witcher spoilers, but the books end at a certain event. Yennefer and Geralt's wedding. And what happens after that is kind of unknown.
By design.
Yeah. That being said, Ciri being the new Witcher is not unusual. But
Also,
that
it's not like there's only one, I don't think.
no, but people are complaining because she didn't take like the passage. I forget the name off the top of my head. You know, it's a certain rite of passage that witchers have to take, and Geralt didn't want Ciri taking it because he didn't think Ciri could take being poisoned, specifically because of her powers.
Uh-huh.
I'm like,
And I'm sure there's no way that could have changed or something could have happened off screen.
I mean, the thing is, they haven't even played The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I mean, first of all, the Wild Hunt wants Ciri's powers. The whole fucking universe wants Ciri's powers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a big thing as far back as the Netflix series. Like, everyone wants Ciri because of what she can do. You know, she can go through the world. You know, she can travel interdimensionally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's like the most powerful character. And in the Witcher 3 video game, she's already a Witcher. She's already got the look and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the bisexuality. It's a thing that comes up if
I'm
you press
aware.
her hard enough about her choices in regards to a certain barmaid or maybe the barkeep. Something like that. Anyway, like I said, whole bunch of stuff was announced, as it always is, but people in general seem very pleased with the announcements that were made at the Game Award, which is a nice contrast from like past E3s, the summer, where it's like one or two things were announced and it's just a load of white noise.
I'm going to be honest. I don't even remember this summer's announcements.
That's my point.
Like,
Yeah.
obviously shit was announced, but, like, none of it stuck.
Yeah. Anyway, so we could definitely go more into the minutiae of what was announced, but I think we've done a pretty good overview of what happened at the Game Awards this year.
Mm-hmm.
And with that in mind, we should probably wrap up this episode of Fragments Silicon. Like, I think our guest might have jumped in here.
No, it was, I turned off the stream to you guys, the window I had the Game Awards stuff on.
Okay, I just saw the window shift. Like, anyway, well, since this is our last regular broadcast of the season, or sorry, not of the season.
Year.
Yeah, year. But we are planning on having a Boxing Day special as we attempt to stream the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We'll see how well that goes, but
yeah.
Until then, I shall wish you good gaming.